Hello together, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Next Gen Eco TV show, where we unravel innovations, technologies, and how they actually form a more sustainable and just future. Hereby, we have the honor of having amazing guests such as Sebastien Borget today visiting us. Sebastien, hope you're doing great.
I'm doing great. It's evening here, but I think it's great to see you again and have this follow-up conversation after Davos.
Same here. We're very much looking forward to dive into the Davos interview. We'll be asking you a few questions, but let me first introduce and welcome our dear co-host Kim Dinze. Hi Kim, how are you doing?
Thank you, Amir. It's such a pleasure to have Sebastien Borget with us, someone who's been pioneering the open metaverse before most people even knew what that means. I'm especially curious about what our AI agent, Lisa, has come up with for you today, Sebastien. And knowing her, she's going straight for the big questions. So let's jump in.
First time an AI agent is going to ask me question. I hope I do give better answer than the AI.
For
We're,
sure.
we're looking forward to this session very much so. And maybe on a small personal note, so I remember that our Kim explained that metaverse was the first thing which caught her and actually got her into blockchain. So we definitely have like a great topic match here, but let's not waste any time and jump right into the question. So the first question I have, dear Sebastien, is how do you see the future of Web3, also taking into account other technological developments?
So, I'm always like a geek and early adopter. I'm passionate about new technology and the impact they can have. So, quite optimistically, I do feel like there is no future without like true digital ownership. Like ownership should be a fundamental right. And Web3 is the technology and evolution that like is leading toward that. So I think like indeed the Web3 will be present, maybe more seamlessly around like every interaction that we have of related to data information, to game content, to virtual world, to decentralized finance, and much more use cases, where like you will not even wonder like or use specific acronym, etc., and like everything you do actually will be automatically yours, and you will not even think like how you can exchange it with other users, transfer it, eventually monetize it, sell it, and so on. We'll be living in a world like you see behind me, like this is Jurassic World. We'll be living, our grandchildren and even hopefully our children will feel like we were living in the prehistoric world of data ownership. Web 1, Web 2 was this era where like we were all parked into those siloed walled garden environments where like we were being exploited, to make a funny comparison. And yeah, other than that, I'm really excited that Web3 can really drive new business model. So a future where like new talents, new creator will come up and people can monetize skills that they don't even think they had, such as like becoming creator in the metaverse on Sandbox, making games for the first time, using their data, their reputation across certain social network, their skills as well to drive a new revenue opportunity that didn't exist before.
Awesome, thanks a lot. So I think those points you touched upon of like native ownership on the one hand and having this integrated essentially in everything we do, but then also the possibilities for creators, talking about the gig economy and different trends we see from, let's say, small and medium-sized entrepreneurs building and monetizing. Those are truly fascinating points. I'm looking forward to delve more into what culture, what creatorship means in the metaverse. So thanks for your answers over here. Before we dive into the Davos interview and then hand over to our Kim for the AI agents, I've got one more question. Yes, but yeah. Whom would you love to see on this TV show having a stage to actually educate the masses who are perhaps not that familiar with blockchain yet? Whom would you love to have on board?
Well, I love to see people who've been like greatly contributing already to evangelizing this notion of like the importance of ownership. So probably Yatsu is one of the thought leader on the topic, and people who are like really taking decentralization and the good impact you can have in the world at this core. And I think Vitalik Buterin is a great thought leader as well, and exemplary ambassador for it.
Awesome. So those are amazing folks. So we are very excited and hope that the future is bright for us in respect of the people we'll get over here. Thanks a lot. Now, without further ado, we will jump into the Davos interview. Good morning from Davos World Economic Forum 2025. A big shout out, first of all, to Filecoin for organizing this amazing view. Thanks a lot for that. And I couldn't be more honored to have over here our dear Sebastien Borget, entrepreneur in the Web2 gaming world, in the Web3 gaming world, setting standards which other entrepreneurs are looking up to. So first of all, thanks for your time and thanks for being here, Sebastien.
Thank you. Well, what an amazing view. It's a great time in Davos. It's an honor to be here with all of you. Thank you.
Awesome, great. I hope you had like great days over here in Davos so far.
Starting with the week pretty well, yes. I love like the overall energy around and like hearing like the interest in blockchain, in crypto, in Bitcoin, and like how like technology will impact the world for a sustainable future here. Like it's really being impregnated much more. So I love that.
Great. Yeah, I have my pleasure of being here the third time, and blockchain becomes louder and louder each year. Mm-hmm. Now, you not only have experience as an entrepreneur in the Web3 world, but also actually as an investor over here. Dear Sebastien, it would be lovely if you can explain our views. What is Web3? It would be amazing if they can grasp it a bit better with your knowledge.
All right, so let's maybe go through like the history. Like internet started, and what we call the Web 1 really as like the ability for people to consult information online. But that information is usually published by a very few, like few companies, universities, schools that provide like information. But the information cannot be really edited. Users cannot contribute to this information that's online. Web 2 brought like the ability for users to post information online by themselves through blogs, through YouTube and other platforms where they can upload their photos, their videos. So it became really the internet where like built and where all the data information is now not only controlled by a single companies, but everyone can build and contribute toward it. However, Web 2 has also led towards certain like misbehavior, and the fact that all that data is being contributed by millions, hundreds of millions of users didn't mean that the data was actually owned by the user. And the business model of many of the services being free was actually to take all that free content uploaded by users and monetize it in a form of like advertisement and tracking their behavior online to resell that data to others, which has led, unfortunately, to a lot of bias, both in like mental health issue, around like political issue, even influencing elections, past election in the US and others. Yeah. Web3 is an evolution of that where like the user, it becomes user-centric, and like the data that's actually being submitted by the user is their property. So how we achieve that, there is a technology called blockchain that enables to track the provenance, the scarcity, and provide the transparency necessary for like data contributed by user to actually be present, accessible online, we say on-chain, and be able to derive from there like a concept of value, enabling new business model, enabling monetization of the data, and enabling like permissions around like how that data is being accessed, tracked, and given authorization to.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for the explanation and walking us through the world of Web 1.0, Web 2.0, and Web 3.0, the Internet of Value, the Internet of Ownership. Now, I think looking at your experience in the gaming industry and understanding that you actually innovated already in the Web 2 angle of gaming, right? Allowing users or gamers to actually create their own environments. So that's already like an innovation we see over there. Thanks a lot for that. And now you are one of the outstanding projects also in the Web 3 world with Sandbox, the evolution of your gaming empire. So I would ask you for a small elevator pitch of Sandbox.
So What is Sandbox? Sandbox is a decentralized virtual world where anyone can become a creator without any programming knowledge or skills. They can make their own 3D content or their own game, publish it on the virtual land, and truly own their creation, meaning they can sell it to other users, to other creators, or even use it outside of Sandbox. We've grown as one of the largest metaverse platforms, onboarding over 400 major brands in music, gaming, entertainment, culture in general, and now count over 6 million users with a wallet who truly own their creation. I think we've been leading toward like this vision of creating an open metaverse where users not only own their asset but can utilize them in Sandbox and outside. And we are keen to continue pursuing the decentralization of data by involving now like the ability for users who own land or own the token of the platform to vote, to participate in the democracy, which is called like governance through DAO, to evolving the future of how that virtual world and platform will evolve.
Thanks a lot for sharing, and thanks a lot for the great contributions over here. I think it's very fascinating to understand gaming as one of the biggest adoption drivers for blockchain technology, exemplified by actually owning part of the game, owning part of your creations and the assets, allowing you to take it on maybe to the next metaverse. So that's truly exciting. Now, I think you have a few thoughts here.
I think I want to add, like, I definitely see like user-generated content as the future of gaming. It's when you say like we started in Web 2 gaming back in 2011, that was already one of our strong motivation. Like, how do we empower anyone to become a creator? I wanted, since I was a child, a teenager, to make my own video games. Now, like, anyone can make games with no-code tools and with AI as well.
Awesome.
But without the ownership and monetization component, it really falls short. Like, people just don't work or create for social fame and social recognition. Like, that doesn't retain and engage user enough. Now that we have ownership, we can prove the scarcity, we can prove the authorship, the provenance, the history of transaction among different users, and potentially asset can accrue in value through their utility in games and beyond. Like, we've reached a new step that will definitely set the future for the creator economy and digital economies.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing over here. I remember listening to one of your speeches where you explained metaverse as a place of culture, as a place of co-creation. So, having Sandbox as a major player over here, one of the unicorns sought after in the Web3 world, you actually laid the bridge for my next question related to that. So you mentioned when you were young that you already thought about like building games, and now you've been growing such a successful career in here. It would be great if you tell us a little bit about who you are, where you come from, what inspired you to do what you do.
So in a nutshell, I'm 40 years old, father of married, 2 kids, 6 and 9 now. I live in France. I've been a serial entrepreneur now for 17 years. Together with my business partner, Arthur Madrid, we co-founded 3 companies. My background is in engineering. So I graduated from a school of network and telecommunication, and I've always been like a pioneer, a geek, adopter of new technology, because I want to understand like how those new technology can transform, like how we're going to interact, the life, the jobs, the economy, but like how we make them more accessible. And being an early adopter, you can always test the product and see like what's wrong, what's like why it's maybe a bit clunky, it's not so accessible for most people, but you can also contribute to go through those challenges and improve those products and services over time to make them better. So I was a pioneer in like peer-to-peer technology with my business partner. The first startup we built was enabling to deliver HD video on demand from sport events like Roland Garros, etc., or
Awesome.
movies you can rent at a fraction of a cost using peer-to-peer technology. One of the first application of like decentralization, actually. Our second business was, after we sold this one, was about like allowing people to upload their photo, video, and music in the cloud and share it. So even without, before the cloud was called cloud, before Netflix or Spotify was there, you could share your online media library with other users. Sold that business. And the third one, like when smartphone came in, like that childhood dream to be able to make my own video game came true again. From your garage, you can have like small team make video game. You didn't need like hundreds of millions of dollars and hundreds of people to build cool game on console, very restricted hardware. And I thought like that was the right time to use the innovation of smartphone, the touchscreen, to enable people to make just any game they want by the touch of their finger. So not just me making game, but enabling anyone to make their game is kind of like what the passion that we pursue, the mission of Sandbox today. Moving forward, that game grew into a large success at 40 million downloads, 70 million player-made creation, and in 2018, 19, we launched a new version of it, this time with blockchain, because going back to what I was saying before, I've been really close to our community of users. I was featuring them, I was talking to them on a regular basis, I was sending them payment because we couldn't do it with App Store or Google Play Store. You cannot send a payment to your top creator, even though they contribute their content that make the revenue of your business. And I saw the limits of that system. I could manage maybe 100 people, sending them a contract, sending them a payment via PayPal or something like that. And then I found about blockchain technology and NFTs, and I saw like instead of just selling virtual cats on the blockchain, the big hit by them, CryptoKitties for people who knew it. How about like anyone could make their own NFT and use this to actually monetize the content they made? And that really drove us to launch this new version of Sandbox. Full platform with a marketplace, a map, a content creation tool, a 3D editor, a no-code game maker that's now being used by like over 500,000 players. Like we have 2,000 games live on the platform, and many over 100,000 holders of avatars, land, and all the other user-generated content NFTs. And we've also not only decentralize the ownership of the world with the map of the assets made by the creators and the avatars, we represent the identity of players. We also decentralize the economy of that platform with a Sand token, which is a top 100 cryptocurrency and top 5 gaming coin as well.
Congrats and thanks for sharing this amazing journey. I think what like future entrepreneurs can pick up is like being open for different technologies, understanding how that can actually change or solve a problem in the industry one wants to like pursue. So I think that's a very interesting learning out of your sharings.
Yeah, I think like let's always be curious. Like I just talked about metaverse. Like if you're curious, your first reaction is go to sandbox.game, check out, try it for yourself and play. And you might see what it is right now. You might like it or not, but you could also imagine how it will evolve over time. Like building a metaverse of culture, onboarding all those brands so fans can explore and have new interaction with the celebrities or the content they're a fan of. Let's imagine like Attack on Titan or Gucci in fashion, or I don't know, like The Walking Dead and other Snoop Dogg and like very regional cultural content or global Western IPs. We have all of them. And being able to make your own games featuring like the content from your favorite brand or series or celebrity, it's something you cannot do anywhere else and on Sandbox now. So it's pretty exciting.
Indeed. Like one beautiful thing about looking at your journey is that you actually evolved from a multiple entrepreneur to an investor as well. So you're not only bringing value to the community, to the gamers, but actually to the entrepreneurs. And thanks for that, first of all.
I think it's very ensured in my DNA. Like I've been so in entrepreneurship for, I was saying like 17 years. I see like how hard it is for entrepreneurs to fundraise. Even at Sandbox, we struggle talking to 100 of investors saying no to us, didn't understand like the vision, the product, our ability to ship on that. So whenever I meet like a like-minded entrepreneur who really focus on the product first and want to like make an impact, I try to help through sharing my experience as an advisor or making like an angel ticket. And today that has grown into a portfolio of more than 300 companies that we support together with my business partner, Arturo Madrid. Some of them are very advanced. They became unicorns. Some are like still in early phases, but it's a great way to network, to support. It's really aligned with the ethos of Web3 as well. Like we are going to succeed all together. So like instead of competing with each other for the user, etc., let's support each other. Let's do partnership. Let's help avoiding like the pitfalls of like the tokenomics, for example, or improve your go-to-market strategy, saving time and money for entrepreneurs. Maybe connect with other investors like here in Davos for recommending like great product and entrepreneur, give them a chance to be visible, because not all entrepreneurs have the same skill. Some are more like technical, some are better in like business development, and it's hard as a founder to combine all the skills nowadays. So like you can build the right product at the right time for the right audience and speak to the right investors. So everything clicks on and you can raise to move to the next step.
Thanks for sharing. So the last question over here would be for the people who maybe skip the entrepreneur life or invest directly. So what is your approach to investing? Would love to hear your short thoughts on that.
So blockchain and cryptocurrencies have democratized access to investment, and a lot of people can learn by themselves, reading white paper and making decision around like if they feel like certain project might actually be useful, grow, and like generate value. And through the ownership of token, they can also like take a stake into that value growth. And I think like generally my recommendation for them is still like I don't just look at what the potential of something could be. I still look at very simple fundamentals, like who's the team behind it, what's their previous experience in building and shipping product, how can they deliver on what they promise concretely. So I try to validate all those steps. Sometimes I challenge a lot the founders on their vision, make sure they will also prioritize on the right focus. So don't hesitate to ask questions on the community, to the founder, to listen to their IMA, to really make sure like they are not just pitching something, but they're actually shipping and putting their effort where their mouth is.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Sebastien, for your valuable time here at Davos. We're looking forward to follow you and hear more from you. All the best to our viewers. Hope you learned a lot. Thanks a lot, Sebastien.
Thank you as well.
Now it's time to hear what our leader has lined up. The first question: what scares you the most about digital identity in the metaverse right now? And just as important, what gives you hope?
Aha. Interesting question. What scares me the most, I guess, like there is still like a lot of like identity theft cases that we are seeing across both in like physical world and digital world. And like actually the digital world has accelerated that problem of like identity theft, possible like damage to your reputation online that can actually have negative impact into the physical world as well, and your ability to access, I don't know, like credit, jobs, interviews, loans, and so on. So where is the opportunity going? I do think like the world is caring much more about like the importance of our digital identity and like digital online reputation. And we want to use all the data that's available to build more solid reputation scores based on our action that actually both exist in the physical world and in the virtual world. So if I'm a great, very engaged creator in the sandbox, in Minecraft, in Roblox, I spend hundreds of hours making very interesting world, that creative skills and all the revenue I would potentially earn from that should be somewhere on my reputation so that people can trust that I can achieve great things in reality as well, in the physical world. Or similarly, if I've earned a great revenue through my skills as a player or from my contribution into like Web3 communities and so on, all of that work and contribution, which is valuable, should also help me to build a score or reputation that proves that I can be trusted, that I'm a honest person, that I'm desiring to help others. And otherwise, like if I'm a bad actor, I think like there will be ways to prove that maybe at a certain period of time, you didn't meant for the greater good of everyone, and a consensus of people prove it through your action on chain. So it's a fair treatment as well. And nobody can actually create elaborate scheme to hurt your reputation or prove things that didn't happen. So I would like to believe that the technology helps to give more transparency and more trust to be able to evaluate, like prove their honesty and create more trust in general online.
Very interesting. Sounds there's groundwork is already there. So here is the second and also final question. So what's the one bold bet Sandbox is making in 2025 that no one's talking about yet?
Yeah. Well, there's a reason if we're not talking it about, but I'm surprised. I was thinking maybe I'm going to be asked, like, am I a real person? Like, how can I be in so many places? Do I have clothes? All right, joke apart. Yes, I'm real. I'm both in metaverse and physical world. I think the great vision of Sandbox remained the same over the years. Like, our mission is to empower anyone to become a creator, and we are using brand and content to like attract the fans, to bridge traditional users and fans toward like discovering the potential of Web3. And something that people might not know yet about, even including AI, is that, well, we really care about decentralization and Web3 at the core, meaning like we will continue to launch things that empower more people through decentralization, enable them to launch more decentralized app, to prove that the asset they own can be used across multiple games. That's, for example, will be possible with the Voxel Games program we announced earlier last year. And like basically give even more utility to all the assets that are available within the Sandbox ecosystem, from lands, avatars, and Sand token.
Thank you. Thank you, Sebastien. These conversations that really move the space forward. Thank you so much.
I can also only agree. What an honor having you over here as like one of actually the first guests of the Next Gen Eco. So that's an amazing kickoff, and we are super excited about the future. We are super happy for you to share with other builders and yeah, let's say the general public of what Web3 can do, what a personal inspiration can actually end up into. So thanks a lot, Sebastien. See you soon.
My pleasure. Well, it's an honor to be first. Glad to share those words with you and have this interview. And like, don't be shy. Jump into the metaverse. Go through the portal. It's not a Jurassic World like you can see behind me. There's a lot to discover, and we're all building the future together.